Welcome to Cadiz, a city shaped by centuries of history, kissed by the Atlantic and alive with colour and light. From ancient streets and majestic plazas to serene gardens, pockets of culture and the sparkling waterfront. Every corner tells a story. Join us on our walk as we uncover the heart and soul of this timeless city.
Good morning and welcome to day 14, and today we're in Cadiz, Spain. Cadiz was founded in 1100 BC and is generally considered to be the longest continuous populated city in modern Europe. And today we'll be trekking around. We've been given a really handy map actually, which I picked up at the concierge, and it shows a path around most of the notable landmarks in Cadiz. So I'll be using that for guidance. And apparently there's a lot of historical buildings as well as a number of art and other places of interest. So I'm looking forward to exploring in a bit more detail and seeing what they're like. We came into port probably around 7 o'clock this morning, and certainly by the time I'd got out of bed and had a peep out of the curtains, which was probably a good thing because we were actually docked and we're overlooking a fairly busy street.
The ship docked right on the quay. We then made our way down the gangway and a short walk to the security gate, which gave us access to the city itself. There were no vendors selling tours, no duty-free shops, no information desk. We just exited the security gate right onto the road by a small roundabout that had an interesting geometric monument situated in the middle of it. From the roundabout we could see a large ornate sandstone monument directly in front of us at one edge of the Plaza de España. This monument commemorates the centenary of the creation of the Spanish Constitution of 1812, the first constitution of Spain and one of the earliest codified constitutions in world history. Its reach extended across Spain, Spanish America and the Philippines. Although short-lived, it was dissolved and reinstated several times over a span of just 25 years. It was, however, a landmark liberal document, and it affirmed that sovereignty resided in the nation rather than the king, and established the separation of powers into legislative, executive and judicial branches. This monument acts as a reminder to Cadiz's role as the birthplace for modern Spanish democracy. This was a lovely park, surrounded by some really nice, elegant 19th and early 20th century buildings and leafy trees that offered shade. Its proximity to the cruise port probably means it's one of, if not the first site for arriving cruisers. At this time of the morning, it had a really nice light, which really added to the vibe. As it was my first stop, I didn't linger. I proceeded down one of the small roads at the back of the park, passing this delightful performing art venue that focuses on alternative and emerging scenes. There was a lovely little square in front with a statue and delightful cafe with outdoor seating. Anyway, pushing forward, the next stop was the monument of San Francisco Xavier, one of Cadiz's patrons. Now this statue's been moved around a variety of locations in Cadiz before finally ending up here. Having hit the sea, I had a decision to make as to which way to explore next. I decided to turn right and continue down the promenade towards what looked like a more industrial area. I ended up going down and up steps whilst passing modern industrial units set into the arches in the city walls to reach this area on top of them, part of the old fortifications, which gave some nice views over this part of the city. From my elevated position, it didn't look as if there was a lot in this area, so I decided to retrace my footsteps back to walls and past the monument of San Francisco Xavier. Continuing west along the promenade, I stumbled upon a hidden gem, a formal, secluded public garden, open freely to all. Sunlight filtered through the canopies of towering ornamental trees, their branches adding shade over the checkered paths and intimate courtyards. Everywhere, graceful statues peered out from between the foliage, while flocks of pigeons scurried about, adding life to the serene scene. The soft trickle of water from ornamental fountains created a gentle, calming soundtrack, and elegantly crafted wrought-iron benches and street lamps punctuated the space, lending it a timeless Spanish charm. Situated within this historic city seafront garden is this monument which honours the Marquis of Comillas, a prominent shipping magnate connected to Cadiz Port and its international maritime legacy. Its base features stone representation of a ship's prow and stern, projecting as if two ships are emerging from opposite sides. This park feels calm and quietly purposeful, reflecting the spirit of the woman it honours, Clara Campoamor, a Spanish lawyer, writer and politician who is a leading advocate for women's suffrage in Spain. She was among the first women elected to the Spanish Parliament. She firmly argued that women deserved the vote as a matter of equality and justice, not political convenience. Largely due to her efforts, Spanish women gained the right to vote in 1931. This lovely 18th century Baroque style church and landmark ends the garden walk. Whilst I usually like to go in and see what's inside, there was a lot more I wanted to do, so I decided I'd push on. This guy is King Carlos III, and he's known for his efforts in modernising Spain, improving public works, reforming administration and encouraging science and the economy. As you walk through the wrought iron gates, you're immediately greeted by a lush avenue lined with tall palms and sculptured cypresses that marks another of Cadiz's hidden green gems, nestled right near the old city walls. Entirely free and open from 8 AM to sunset, this park combines formal and informal layouts filled with plants from many parts of the world. Originally part of an older promenade, this park has evolved over the centuries to become a romantic style botanical garden. Paths meander around shady corners, and it's perfect for a leisurely stroll or just sitting back on one of the benches with a good book. Here you can explore the beautiful sculptures scattered throughout the park, from dignified busts to the whimsical children under the umbrella fountain. They lend a charming cultural dimension and make the park feel more than just a garden. Meanwhile, the gentle sound of trickling water provides another soothing soundtrack for your stroll. Honestly, we weren't expecting this at all, and that probably made it even better. Out of nowhere, we had stumbled across this beautiful man-made series of waterfalls flowing into a small ornamental pond. The sound of rushing water and assorted lush greenery added to the moment. At either end, stone steps led us up to the top, where an ornate little bridge crossed the stream. From up there the views were stunning. You could look down over the park and even catch glimpses of the bay shimmering in the distance. Then came the best surprise. We found a hidden cave tucked beneath the waterfall, with arched windows that framed the falling water like living artwork. Standing inside, watching the falling water shimmering against the sunlight felt truly magical. We continued walking along the promenade, passing this interesting, modern, boxy, some might say brutal piece of architecture, which it turns out was a hotel. Perched on a rocky raised piece of land that extended into the sea is this, one of the city's most iconic coastal fortresses near Cadiz's old town. Its position gives excellent visibility for defence, as well as panoramic views of the Atlantic Ocean and Cadiz's coastlines. Over the centuries it has served various roles: fortress, military garrison, prison and later military quarters. These days it's been restored and repurposed as a cultural and exhibition centre, regularly hosting art exhibitions, concerts, photography shows and craft workshops. Best of all, it was free to enter, and on the day I went there was an art exhibition by Eva Armisen. It was wonderful looking around this historic space, taking in the incredible views framed by the fortifications. At the same time, there were sets of contemporary sculptures and paintings that punctuated the space. Everyday life and ordinary moments captured as optimistic, simplified figures, almost cartoon-like. The art exhibition had different types of pieces displayed in different locations. Sculptures were predominantly outside, around the courtyard and on the low roofs of the buildings. Some were more traditional bronzes, but the vast majority were large cartoon characters. In one of the buildings, paintings hung on the walls, and we could wander around away from the hot sun, slowly taking in the art. There were also some smaller art displays in adjoining spaces. In some outside spaces you could also find paintings hanging on the fort walls. Well, that was a lovely, very unexpected find. We enjoyed the contrast between something modern sat beside something old, whether it's architecture or art. Next up is to follow the promenade along before turning inland to complete the first half of our circular route. This building looked as if it had once had a grand past, a former hospice. It has now fallen into somewhat a level of disrepair, serving purely as a car park. I was originally drawn to the roots of these trees. I believe they're Moreton Bay fig trees, and I went over to take a better look. Once there, I noticed the building behind them, which gave interesting glimpses into a courtyard beyond. A very nice and accommodating security guard said I could take a look inside and wander around. So you know what? I did. Behind the original older facade, in the historic Old City area, lies the more modern University of Cadiz Faculty of Economics and Business Management. I thought these buildings were beautiful, very modern, but full of Mediterranean vibe.
Well, that was a lovely looking university, apparently created in 1998, and it looks as if it's behind the facade of a 1903 building, but absolutely beautiful in there. Nothing like my university, which was actually the setting for Clockwork Orange and was built back to front, but still.
We are now in the heart of historic Cadiz, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Europe. More than 3,000 years of history are right under our feet. And trust us, walking through this old town feels like stepping through layers of time. It's a maze with every street here to tell a story. The buildings leaning close, the streets buzz with shops and people and then disappear into residential areas before suddenly opening up into something grand. Welcome to the Gran Teatro Falla. Yes, it's that stunning, massive red brick building standing right in front of us with its striking horseshoe arch windows. It almost seemed to appear out of nowhere, standing out amongst the city's white and pastel-coloured streets. This beautiful theatre hosts plays and musical performances, and it's named in honour of Manuel de Falla, Cadiz's famous composer. In front of the theatre, there's a small square with cafes around the periphery and an ornamental fountain that sets the tone. This interesting location caught my eye, another student centre for the University of Cadiz. Really nice. This is just another residential building that caught my eye. A set of apartments, but inside I thought it looked incredible. Really nice again. And around here I got a bit lost, but managed to find my sense of direction and make my way towards my next stop. And here it is, rising high above the city's rooftops, Torre Tavira, the tallest watchtower in Cadiz. Built in the 18th century, this place was originally used to keep an eye on the bustling port. From here though, you can see all of Cadiz. Trust us, the view is going to blow your mind. You can see every plaza, every street, and even the sparkling waters of the Atlantic. This used to be part of a network of watchtowers that once dotted across Cadiz. Today, it's the only one still fully operational. Walking through Cadiz is one thing, but seeing it up here, it's a totally different level. Pun intended. You get a full 360-degree field of view up here. You can see the beaches, the cathedral's golden domes, historic buildings. I could even see where our ship was moored, which was super useful as I now knew which direction to take.
So we're now up at the top of Torre Tavira, and it's probably about 6 or 7 stories up, and here you get a superb view looking round Cadiz at a height that is probably higher than most of the buildings here. It's fantastic. The views are breathtaking, and you see a whole load of detail that you really don't see when you're on the ground. Absolutely superb.
It's probably worth saying that this building is not particularly the most accessible building that I've actually been in. Still in the heart of the old city, set in a beautiful 19th century building, is Cadiz's Central Market. On the outer circumference there are lots of places to grab a snack or drink, sit back and people watch, Joanne's favourite occupation. Step inside and wow, the energy here is incredible. Vendors are calling out their fresh catches, locals are picking up their daily groceries, and everywhere you look there's colour, aroma and life. Grocers' colourful stalls display local seasonal produce, oranges, tomatoes, peppers. Cadiz is also on the coast, so the market is full of freshly caught fish and shellfish, prawns, tuna, anchovies, clams and octopus. Visiting the market is the perfect way to see Cadiz's everyday life and culinary culture. A short distance from the central market is Plaza Topete, also famously called the Plaza of Flowers. Here colourful flowers are everywhere, as well as a few market stalls with clothing. Cafes line the square, and there's the lively buzz of Cadiz shoppers all around us. One moment we're winding through a narrow, shady street. Then we turned a corner and wow! This square plaza literally opened up out of nowhere. Suddenly there was sunlight, space and life everywhere. People sitting outside, locals chatting, tourists taking a break, kids running around, a fair at one end of the square, and a mechanical band strumming their stuff. The square is surrounded by historic buildings, but none is larger and grander than the 18th century cathedral that gives this plaza its name. Construction took 120 years. We could just feel how much history is packed into this place. The Golden Dome is not so visible from the ground, but from up high in the watchtower we previously visited, it cannot fail to catch your eye. We felt that we've been guided here to understand more about this unique building. Look at the towers, look how tall they are, standing over the rooftops of the city. The mix of styles is fascinating. The Baroque details on the front, the ornate carvings and curves, and the neoclassical lines in the structure itself. It tells a story of centuries of architectural ideas, layered one on top of each other. What we loved was how the cathedral interacted with the people in the plaza. You can go in for a fee and look around the inside, but we didn't have enough time to do it justice. It's one of those places where you keep walking around, turning corners, and then you find new and different perspectives. A short distance away, and en route back to the ship, is the Plaza de San Juan de Dios. As soon as we'd stepped into this square, the first thing we saw was the imposing city hall. It's huge, elegant and very commanding, the focal point of attention in the square, where there was also a lot of other stuff going on. It is amazing how alive this square feels, as in the shadow of the city hall, a small artisan market is in full swing today. Every stall is packed with handcrafted goodies, and you can feel the creativity buzzing and the thrill of people shopping. Here you can buy handmade jewellery, pottery, ceramics, textiles and other local crafts. At the far end of the square is a monument to one of Spain's past prime ministers, Sigmunde Murray, standing in front of an ornamental pond which adds the gentle sound of water to the hustle and bustle, the backdrop of the city hall forever present. So this has been a delightful stroll around Cadiz. We were never quite sure what we were going to find when we started off. We enjoyed ourselves, there was a wide variety of different things to take in and see, and for very little outlay we feel we got to know the city better and gain a greater appreciation for its history, architecture, culture and daily life. Some of it was planned, some was following our noses and exploring what looked like interesting spaces. It wasn't a long day, but it was quite strenuous. We always prefer if we can do our own thing rather than an organised tour, as we concentrate on what we want when we want. For us, one of the whole reasons we like cruising is to experience a different side to this beautiful world we live in. Unfortunately, we forgot to film dinner tonight, so apologies, but afterwards we went down to the Queen's room to bide some time before the Bright Light Society opened for a free Sailaway set.
To be or not to be, let our hearts discover. All of our wonder, could this in life has fought the age of miracles in hiding past. Every dance with the guy who gives you the eye, let him hold you tight. Smile, every smile for the man who holds your hand.
When the little bluebird, who has never said a word, starts to sing spring, spring.
I got a gal who's always late. Every time we have a date, but I love her. Yeah, I love her.
So that concludes our last port for this trip and the end of this vlog series as we sail back to Southampton and disembark back into everyday life. We thoroughly enjoyed our time on the Queen Anne and in the Princess Grill and look forward to returning. Join us on our next cruise from Boston to Quebec.